Peace. Assalamu alaikum. Hotep, namaste, jambo, ashe, shalom, shalom. All the greetings of love and light to the darkest minds of the light. I am Napashada, and you are joining me on multiple channels. If you're on the R.I.S.E channel, Reality is Simulated Existence. Please hit the like button. If you're on the HOK Coliseum channel, please hit the like button. If you're on any of the channels that I'm streaming from, please hit the like button. And don't forget to subscribe. It doesn't take much. Just hit those buttons and we can get going. So if you see the title, this isn't going to take long because this is midday. So, I don't have all day to just be up here going and going. So with that said, I'm sure you don't have all day either. So the title says conscious men. And when I say conscious men, I mean men who are above average when it comes to being informed about social constructs, propaganda, different things set up to be obstacles in your life. People who are informed, who know different types of government agendas, social agendas, things that want to hold you back or take you away from your natural self. And that's usually things that are in mainstream, right? So when I say conscious men, I'm talking about men who fit the description I just gave. Men who are more enlightened, right? Eyes open, darkest minds of the light. Whatever you say, in the truth. We're talking about Muslims, Moors, informed atheists who look past the agenda of religion and other types of things that block your mind. Men who are well read, men who are very spiritual, men who are in touch with their cultural, the roots of their people, where you came from, Africa, if you say Kemet, Israel, men who come from, the depths of the soil when it comes to humanity, right? Talking to you. All right. I think I got it all covered. I'm going to make a statement of what we hear from certain men who call themselves conscious or religious or in following, different spiritualities. They say, I know men are polygynous, but I just want to be with one woman forever. Now, I am going to use the words of a man who is very much respected in this consciousness community, and not just in this consciousness community. He's actually been he's how do you say, he's branched out into different sectors, different mainstream sectors, but he still teaches and holds to what he believes. I'm speaking none other than Captain Tazariak. So first and foremost, I already talked to Sonetter. I knew Captain won't mind if I use a clip from his channel, but I checked with Sonetter, and Sonetter said it'd be fine. So Captain, shout out to you. I'm going to use some of your footage because I want to use a man's words before I go in, so I don't have to hear any brother saying, oh, that's a woman's opinion, or any women saying, oh, well, she's just I'm definitely not a pick-me. But I am pro-poly. I'm a polygynous activist. So with all that said, before I even get started on my commentary, let me screen share a clip from Captain Tazariak's live that he just did recently. I have 1,000 different tabs open. Why do I do this to myself? Wow. Okay, bear with me. I'm going to find it. I know it's here. I have so many YouTube tabs open. Why? Why, Sway? How, Sway? I have so many tabs. But you are, while I'm doing this, if you haven't done it, share this video, like the video. Where is it? I just had it. I had it queued up and everything. Whew, I found it. It's right here. Okay. So let's listen to the captain. And what he's going to be covering is a situation with a relationship between an Israelite woman and an Israelite man. When I say Israelite woman and Israelite man, I mean they're practicing in the culture. Now, I'm not focusing on that relationship and all of that tea. I'm going to focus on the statements that the woman says, the covenant that the man made with her, who was a very foolish man, or maybe he's not foolish. Maybe he wanted to do that, but he just, well, that's still foolish. Maybe he wanted to do it, but then he found out that he couldn't do it. Whatever. We're going to listen to Captain Tazariak say some very wise words, and then I'm going to go in on it. We got a lot to unpack. Please hit the like button. I see you in here. Please, please, please listen up, and let's see what's going on here. All right. All right. So this is Captain Tazariak covering this situation.
Him from August through November. I'm going to prove via text that that's a lie. I have text messages where him and I are communicating through that whole duration of time. When he makes it seem like I'm jealous and about him talking to other women, the reason why I was pressing him so hard about other women is because he made a covenant to Yahweh and to me that he would not do those things because I was not okay with polygyny.
So
there's
now,
some women that are, there's some that.
So he made a covenant before him and Yahweh that he would not court other women. This is how he turned, like he damn near turned her into a monster. And so when we look at this text, it says, I, Ariella, make this covenant with Zion Noah that I will not take another wife or court another woman while we are married. I make this covenant before the Most High God, Yahweh, and all of his angels, including flirting and having long conversations on the phone. He put the demon, like he just said, Asmodeus, come down. he wanted Asmodeus and Legion. He just put Asmodeus and Legion right in the house.
I disagree with you on that, Captain. Asmodeus and Legion were already very much present. They were just sitting silently and patiently waiting for the time that they must be unleashed. So I think they didn't have to come down. They were already sitting there in the waiting room with the nail files, just watching for their number to come up. So let's keep listening.
By making that statement. And let me tell you something, fellas, stop lying to these women for box. Stop lying to these women for box. Listen, if a woman don't want to accept the polygamous lifestyle, there's about 10,000 others that will. You just got to search them.
And we will be going over, that's an entirely different stream. What is polygyny done in a healthy way? So, but he's on point. He's 100% on point. But we do need to talk about some women, when you talk about they want to accept the polygynous lifestyle, they love to sneak around, don't want to be like this. Actually, I'm not saying this woman who we just heard talk because I don't know her. They say, oh, I don't mind polygyny, but I just don't want to do it. Those are women who men need to be very, very careful of. If you're a practicing polygynist, and you have a peaceful home and you're doing polygyny, shout out to the brothers who are doing that. And then you have women who see that, because women are drawn to polygynists. They are drawn to men who are polygynists. So some women don't like polygyny. That's what I'm trying to say. Some women don't like polygyny, but they want to still mess with a polygynous man. Isn't that crazy? So Captain is 100% right. There's about 10,000 other women, but about, I'm going to say 7,000 of them want to be with a polygynous man, but they don't want to be a part of polygynous marriage. They have to go. I just want to point that out because I am an expert when it comes to this topic. And so is he. He's an expert from the male side. I'm an expert from the female side and from the marriage. I, at one time, counseled marriages that were polygynous. I stopped doing that, but I'm going to get back to talking about polygyny. However, I just wanted to say that point. There are 10,000 other women, but 7,000 of them for now just want to be, they want to be with a man who's a polygynist, but then they don't want to be a part of a polygynist marriage. Make that make sense. Let me go back and let you listen.
Women for box. Stop lying to these women for box. Listen, if a woman don't want to accept the polygamous lifestyle, there's about 10,000 others that will. You just got to search them. You just got to search them. There's a woman that'll share. I know. If anybody know, I know. Look at the shirt. Much. Anybody know, I know. There's some women out there that'll share you. It's a few of them out there that'll share you. So I'm gonna keep playing this.
Or not, I'm not saying that it's a sin if it's anything that brothers choose to do in terms of their household, but it was just not something I was willing to do. So that's why he got pressed hard, because he broke a covenant to both me and Yahweh about talking and dealing with other women, including his current now wife. I'm not going to bring out additional things that he said about his current now wife. So I don't even want to be a disruptor in their household as they are being in mine.
But do you see she's a disruptor though? Check. You gotta see I don't know this person. I wasn't going to commentate on her, but she's the one. I can see she's a master. I've encountered masters like her, a master agitator, a masterful shader. Like she's surgical with it. Like, it sounds so righteous. I'm not going to tell you what he said about his wife. I don't want to disrupt their household. So obviously you're putting the seed in her mind that he was talking mess about it. You know, like, if you really don't want to say anything about the wife, then just don't. You could have said, I don't want to say anything about his wife that he's with right now because that's not fair to her and it's disrespectful. And even that is like, why are you even bringing her up? See, this is the point. I don't even know their situation, but I'm gonna spin this. This isn't about this conversation or these people's mess. I'm talking about polygyny. Brothers, I'm talking from as men of marriage, okay? Because everybody's like, you can't give men advice. This brother right here, Captain Tazariak, is giving the advice. I'm co-signing. Brothers, don't bring headaches into your household for you first, and then for your wives, but then for you, because you're the one that's the head. Why would you even, if you meet a beautiful woman and she's perfect and you already have wives, and she's like, I like polygyny, but I don't know, walk away. Because when you hear, I don't know, then she's not the one for you, because everybody else knows. You know what I mean? Let her come later on and say, I know all about polygyny. I'm ready for it now. Stop trying to sell women on polygyny and stop lying to, like the captain said, stop lying to women about polygyny. Okay? And stop bringing women into your home who really don't have your household's best interest. They're just looking for D and attention. I promise you, like You'll Be All Right said, it's the same thing, You'll Be All Right. Because look at this. Women are drawn to polygynous because women are hypergamous, and women say that is a desired man because more than one woman wants him, and he's holding down more than one relationship with women. Okay, so they are drawn to that. Don't let that woman who doesn't really care about that type of relationship, she doesn't want to be a part of that. Don't let her come in and disrupt your shit. Check. Don't let her come in and disrupt it. As great as she is, If she doesn't want to be in your type of marriage and get to know your wives and be a part of it and a team player, as great as she is, she's not great at all because she's not for you. That's like you meeting a woman who's perfect, but then she's a lesbian. I'm serious. It's the same thing. It is exactly the same thing. You think it's not. You brothers are doing what these women do when they meet men and they say, I can change him. You can't. You not can't. You're going to have problem. You're going to have problem in your relationship. Okay? You cannot change her. You're not going to change her. It's not worth the headache. You know what'll happen? By the time everything, the smoke is cleared, either you're going to be messed up, you're going to lose some of the wives you already have, or one of them, or both of them, or she's going to destroy, or you're going to lose her. Get it? So just find one that is actually just as beautiful, just as smart, just as great, and who actually is a fan and an advocate and a team player for polygyny. Just like Captain said, let's keep listening.
He brought up Robbie. I'll send the text messages where he's
I showed the
identifying
one with
Robbie
Robbie
as a
already.
demon.
I already
And
showed
then he
that.
also brings up him going to tabernacles. He admits to that. The only thing that frustrates me is he's very manipulative in terms of that video. He'll tell you guys that he went because he hadn't seen his friends and his family for so long or something like that. But when he texts me about breaking tabernacles, he tells me it's because he was trying to clear his mind in terms of the idea of losing me based upon the incident that had happened. So there's been a lot of manipulation. He was trying to convince.
I don't know. I think it's done. I think he's done talking about the polygyny stuff
on behalf of these wicked ass.
So let
He
me
brought
go.
up Robbie.
Let me go back a little bit.
Look at the shirt. Much.
Okay. So I didn't. All that
He
other
wanted
stuff at the end is irrelevant.
Asmodeus and Legion. He just
I
put.
just want to before I'm
And so
going
when
to
we look at this
one more
text,
time.
And about him talking to other women.
to it, let's put this back
Look
on
at
the screen.
look at Captain's shirt. Much polygyny. Okay. So let's see.
Boom.
Let's see
All right,
this.
so I'm gonna keep playing it.
Here it is.
So we showed the Robbie thing. So I showed the text message where he got the Robbie girl defending him, but he was calling her a demon. These are all the things that she wanted cleared up for herself. So I'm gonna keep playing.
Him from August through November. I'm going to prove via text that that's a lie. I have text messages where him and I are communicating through that whole duration of time. When he makes it seem like I'm jealous and about him talking to other women, the reason why I was pressing him so hard about other women is because he made a covenant to Yahweh and to me that he would not do those things because I was not okay with polygyny.
So
there's
now,
some women that are, there's some that.
So he made a covenant before him and Yahweh that he would not court other women. This is how he turned, like he damn near turned her into a monster. And so when we look at this text, it says, I, Ariella, make this covenant with Zion Noah that I will not take another wife or court another woman while we are married. I make this covenant before the Most High God, Yahweh, and all of his angels, including flirting and having long conversations on the phone. He put the demon, like he just said, Asmodeus, come down.
That's funny to me.
He wanted Asmodeus and Legion. He just put Asmodeus and Legion right in the house by making that statement. And let me tell you something, fellas. Stop lying to these women for box. Stop lying to these women for box.
Okay, so I think we did enough of that. I want to, from what we just listened to, I want to address this comment. Team Go says, "You make no sense. You mean sense, SENSE. But I get what you're saying. You make no sense. The guys, and I'm not dissing you. That's a common mistake. People do it all the time. That doesn't make you stupid. I'm just saying you make no sense. The guy signed something like a contract. He would do it like a contract that he would do it, and you're blaming her. Wow. Number one, I'm not blaming her. I don't think anyone heard me blaming anybody. I went at him and I went at her because it's like me saying, to first of all, you have to be straight up with people. You have to be straight up with people. If a guy is in my inbox, sir or ma'am, team go, please, my friend, listen to me, hear me out. And I appreciate you, because again, we don't want an echo chamber. We're gonna be real about what we say, right? If a guy is in my inbox and he I don't know, he's an Israelite. Oh my God. I'm already laughing. Okay, get it together here, Nepal. If a Hebrew Israelite guy is in my inbox and he's in Sakari, a group of men who advocate for polygyny, why would I even, who do I think I am? Trying to tell him that I only want you to be monogamous with me. Like, number one, that's a manipulative move. I'm advocating for men right now. I know it's like I'm saying you brothers need to do this and that, but look, brothers, don't let somebody like Tazariak said, like Captain Tazariak said, don't let somebody make you by dangling this wonderful, I'm sure she's a beautiful, wonderful, intelligent woman, but I don't care. Don't let her make you not be yourself. That's what the stream is about. Team go. If you're male or female, team go. This is what the stream is about. Don't let someone suppress you or oppress you. I usually am saying this about women. Now I'm talking for men. Stop letting people make you not be yourself. Okay? Oh my gosh, I love y'all. I just love you. I love all you, all my people. I don't know if these are sisters or brothers, men or women. Polygamy is forbidden in scripture. I love it. If you're in the HOK Coliseum, please let me drop the link for you. Please come in and tell me why you think that. And if you dare, put your information in the chat so I can set up a debate for you if you want. If not, that's fine. Everybody knows polygyny is all over the Bible. Stop. The 12 tribes of Israel have four mothers. Anyway, but I'm just saying, like, don't let anybody stop you from being who you are. To the women, yes, are men doing polygyny absolutely wrong? Most men, yes, they are. I shouldn't say most, scratch that. That's not true. Are 50% of the men who are doing polygyny doing it wrong? Yes. Does that mean that we need to get rid of polygyny? Hell no, because polygyny is the best way. We just need men to teach other men how to do polygyny correctly. For instance, this person, this Ariella guy, he's doing polygyny absolutely wrong because he knows damn well that he's going to be wanting to be with other women. Case in point, she says he didn't keep his word. Duh. I make a covenant, Napashadah, that I will never, ever, ever wear anything yellow on Tuesdays. It's like, why are you making these lies? Like you lying. Like you're going to do that. You're going to be interested in other women because you believe that it's righteous. That's the whole foundation of Israel, to follow the cultures and the ancient ways. I'm talking about Israel that's modern today, the community. So you think men can't be faithful? Keon, this is why we must continue to have this conversation about polygyny. You should hit the link. You're always hitting everybody else's link. Come on in here and talk to me about it if you want to. But if you don't, let me just say this. You can be faithful in polygyny, and that's a good question, because guess what? You can be a cheater in polygyny as well. See, you should be straight up when you get in a relationship. Now, granted, if this guy was a dude who, remember, I'm addressing conscious men. If this guy was just a regular guy working 9 to 5, computer engineer guy, oh, I like to hang out with the guys after work and have a nice cold one. Oh, I don't look at those ladies because I got a ring on my finger. I am henpecked. Got it. He'll be okay suppressing his natural desire to have more than one wife. He'll be okay with going through life only wanting to be training himself. I say that very, very, very emphatically, training and programming himself. It's not hard because society is already programmed to be monogamous, men to be monogamous, men to be monogamous. So yeah, he's going to be fine. Can men be monogamous? Yes, they can. I'm not saying men are out there just all of them sneaking around, but the numbers are high. The numbers are high. And if he's not sneaking around, he wants to. He's always in some other woman's face. He's looking at Cornhub a lot because he wants that fantasy of having another woman. Just stuff like that. So it's not about cheating if you want to have more than one wife. In fact, it's not cheating at all. You just have to be honest. Now, in polygyny, I said, can men be cheaters and unfaithful in polygyny? Yes. If you're telling two women, I want to be with you guys and we're together, and then you're going outside of your marriage and you're being polygynous in a sneaky way, hear me out. You're sleeping with someone and she's not a part of the marriage. You're disrespecting yourself first as a head because you're being too much of a bitch because she doesn't want to do polygyny. So you're her bitch. I want you to hear this. If you didn't hear anything, you're being a bitch for some woman who doesn't respect you and what you want, which is polygyny. So you have 2 or 3 women on one end at home, but you meet a woman that you think is so great and she says, "Oh, but I really just don't like polygyny." So you sleep with her and make her think, "Okay, I'm not going to put you in that family with those 2." You disrespect yourself first because she says, "Oh, this man isn't really about this life. I know I can rule him because I just made him compromise his entire setup." Now he's totally made himself look like a fraud and a bitch. I have no respect for him because he let me rule him because I just told him, I'm not going to be in polygyny. Sign this contract. Sign this contract and tell me you and you already got those 2 women? Well, just let me tell you, forget the contract, but I'm not going to be a part of that family because I don't do polygyny. You better just sneak around with me. You are a punk. And if you think she thinks you're not, because all those back rubs and you're the king and I wish I could just be with you on my own, and you're her punk. I promise you're her punk. Because a real king would never sneak from his throne to go lay in the bed with the woman who says, I'm not going to do what you want. That's what you want. You're going to do what I say. And you're not going to have any other women. You get what I'm saying? So you disrespect yourself first, and then you disrespect the women who decided, yes, I want to be a part of this marriage. I respect you. I respect your nature as a man. I respect that you want to have multiple wives. And I want to be a part of this where we are going to work together. And I'm expecting to be around women who are already a part of this, who will respect me. See, there's so many layers to polygyny that we need to have all those points checked off. It's never going to work if the women don't get along. But guess what? The women are going to get along. They're going to follow your lead. They're going to see how you act. Now, the woman that you let be on the side, that's the cheat, because you were saying faithful. The woman you let be on the side, she'll never fit in because she'll always see you as her punk. And then she's going to come in and try to run shit. And she's going to disrupt stuff. Excuse my language, but it's true. However, back to the brothers. If you say you're conscious and you say, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Hebrew Israelite, I'm laughing because it just makes me laugh. You saying you're a Muslim and you saying you're a Hebrew Israelite and you talking about Islam and Israel, do not come to us and talk about you just want to have one wife. And women, you need to listen to that. As nice as he is, as much as you must want to be with him, if you already were married to him and both of you entered into Israel, that's a different song and dance. I'm talking about when these men who are in the truth or in Islam and their whole culture is based on multiple wives. If they come to you talking about, Oh, you don't like polygyny? Don't worry. I'm just going to be monogamous. You got to side-eye them. And women who try to make men go against their natural selves and go against what they believe in, what is the foundation of their lives, the foundation of what they believe in, their core selves. Women who try to make them do otherwise, the man should be looking at her with the side eye and just leave and walking onto the, remember, the captain said there's 10,000, there's 9,999 other women. So I wasn't going to make this long, but I made it strong. Let's see what Moses says. Okay, Moses says, why would a man want to exchange energy with multiple women and become legion? Oh my God. I knew it's going to be something wild. Someone with many spirits. No wonder America's called the Great Harlot. Look, I'm going to be nice to you, Moses. These are your opinions, my friend, and they're not popular among men who claim to be like you. You're saying you're so African, but the nations, the different countries of Africa, of that continent, most of them are based on polygyny, especially ancient Africa, all of ancient Africa, all of ancient, I'm going to say it over and over, all of ancient Africa practiced polygyny in some form. Polygyny. Was there also polyandry practiced in different nations? Of course. But most of the ancient nations, most of them practiced polygyny. So I thought you were so African. I'm confused. You might want to clear that up later, okay, my friend? But thanks for your comment. Okay. Oh, wow. Look at this one, guys. So Moses says homosexuality is most likely to result in men exchanging energy with so many women. Oh, that he turns into a woman. Okay, well, I don't know what you're talking about, brother, but a man having a lot of sex with a lot of women has never turned a man homosexual. Okay? Never. Never, never, never in a million years. A man having a lot of sex with a lot of women won't make a man want to be with men. Okay? So that's ridiculous. But thank you. I still appreciate your comments. Peace. Let's see what Miss Nicole says. How does this lifestyle benefit the woman? Exactly. We need to have, and I thought of you, Miss Nicole. I had seen you on a panel before because again, we don't do echo chambers, but we do need to. So we do need to have these conversations because, as I said, many men are doing polygyny incorrectly, and I also said that many men are sneaking around while they're, I'm not talking about anyone who's monogamous because I know people get offended. I am not in anybody's home. I'm not in anybody's relationship. I'm talking in general. I need everybody to know that. I get it. If somebody says something about women who are in polygyny, like they're weak and they're insecure, they're nasty, or they like, I get a little offended at first, but then I say, okay, hold on. They don't know me. They're not in my life. I need to educate them about myself. So yes, this is a good question. How does polygyny benefit women? It benefits women in a lot of ways. We have to break it down into different levels. Like everyone always wants to run to finance, but I'm going to talk about just as far as men being able to be peaceful with, especially men in the consciousness community, men who are, I'm going to say Black men who are so-called they're Afrocentric, or they are Israelite, or they are Muslim. We can safely say that polygyny is something that goes along with that particular type of gentleman, right? I don't know if we're all on the same page with that. And I'm not just talking to Miss Nicole, I just left her a comment up here, but we can safely say that typically, I'm not saying all men, but typically when men are doing Pan-Africanism or practicing African spirituality or Hebrew Israelite or Muslim or a Moor, we can safely say that polygyny is a common practice amongst these type of gentlemen, correct? And if we can safely say that, we need to come out and say, but are they all, we need to ask the question, does it benefit women? Are they doing it correctly? Well, for me, yes, it benefits women when they do it correctly. When we put it on the table and we take hold of it as women and we say, okay, this isn't just for men. We need to have this conversation. We need to make it clear that we are also equally, we have equal ownership of polygyny with the man. Because at this point, it's just like, you women do polygyny with us, and if you don't do it, you're the ones that are wrong, and you won't let us do it. So we're going to find those wonderful women who do polygyny. I don't want that. Even though I'm an advocate for polygyny, I don't want that. I don't want women who say I don't like polygyny to be demonized or, treated in a way like they're not good women. However, I know male nature for the most part, and I definitely know black male nature. Not black male, but black male. Like the black man is very in tune with his natural desire to want to be a polygynist. Can he train himself to be monogamous? Can he meet a woman that's wonderful? And now I'm speaking about Miss Nicole. Can a brother like brother-in-law meet a beautiful, great sister who's intelligent and keeps his interest, and he doesn't have the energy to even try to he values this woman. He doesn't want to risk it. Yeah, of course, men can do that. However, most men are not capable of doing that. So any woman who's with a man who's doing that and he's doing it well, you can applaud him and applaud yourself because you are an anomaly. Most men are not being monogamous. And you think it's just like, and again, I'm not addressing the sister. I'm saying you as the audience or you as people, you might think, oh, well, I never seen him cheat or he never cheated on anybody. It's not just about the actual act. It's not just about the actual act. It's actually the desire, the fantasy. I don't want to be with somebody who's fantasizing that to be with somebody else and they can't. I don't want to be that obstacle between a man and his desire. Now, don't be simple and say, well, I guess your husband could just do whatever he wants. No, I'm saying in general, as a male, I don't want to be that one where he's sitting there going, I love this woman so much, but now pause the reason I can't be with her. No, go. I will move out of the side. I'll move to the side and be like, you can go. Don't worry about me because I'm not going to stop you from wanting to be with somebody. I can't. It's impossible. I can't climb into your heart and your mind and change your desire for somebody. That person will change it. I can never change it. What I could do, though, is, pretty much understand that I deserve, if I'm in a relationship with somebody, I deserve to be desired and valued just like the other woman deserves to be desired and valued in her relationship or in my relationship with me as a polygynous co-wife. And did I lose you guys? You'll be all right. Said something's funny. I don't even know what I said. So anyway, I hope she sees my question. Let me see your question. Yes, let me go up here. I'm going to definitely. It's funny you said that right here. Dr. Umar Johnson voice. Hit the Cash App for the sister. I am going to go over when I get back. We have to talk about Dr. Umar. We have to. It's time. I can't just leave it to where this young lady is out here. And now I think he's just like, it's bizarre to hear Dr. Umar go like disrespect his daughter. I get it. She is a child. I don't care if she's in her 20s. She's not a grown woman. She's a child. She's 23, meaning his child. She's an adult, but she's definitely not a grown woman, and she's lacking father presence. She's lacking. So we need to talk about that. I want to get into talking about Dr. Umar. We will start talking about child support. We're going to talk about it because I think Dr. Umar was like, I'm going to show all my paperwork. I'll show you that I'm paying. And it's not just about paying. You're not there. But to the people who are saying men shouldn't pay child support, but if you're not there, you're damn sure going to pay. Check. All right. Peace, I'm Ron McCarthy. I have not seen you for a while. Peace to you and your beautiful family. Let's see what peace, Trinity. Let's see here. Let me get your question, and then I'm gonna see. Well, let's see what our brother Law says. Peace, brother Law. Peace to you. And I just was speaking to your queen earlier because she put a comment in here. She asked a good question, and I haven't even addressed your question, Miss Nicole. I mean, I did address it, but I didn't even scratch the surface. We really need to have conversations about this. This question here is going to take like at least 2, 3, 4 streams, if that. Real streams, not the typical, just surface stuff. Oh, the woman needs to bring a check home and we put it all together in a lot. No, we don't. I hate that conversation. I don't hate it. Let me take that back. I don't like that conversation because in this community, that's where polygyny goes over the cliff. Does it help financial situations? Heck yeah, it's great. But when we just focus on it, like that's the way it's sold to women, like, oh, we're gonna all work together and that's not gonna interest me as a woman to be with a man that has other wives. I don't want to hear about how I'm going to bring my paycheck home and put it together with the other women. And no, I don't want to hear that. That doesn't make me say, wow, I really want to do that. I could put my paycheck together with a lot of different people. And I don't have, and find one of those men who says he's monogamous. Wink, wink. Okay. So we do have to have the conversation if we can. I would like to do that. Let me look at Caleb's question he said he has. And I appreciate all the input because it's important. Okay, your question, let me see what you said. My question, Queen Napa, was a lot of cultures like Babylonians, Assyrians, Nubians, Hebrews, etc., that do polygamy. The majority of people is monogamous. Do you think it's forced to have one wife? I think you need to ask me again. I'm not completely sure about what you meant. Like they are polygynous ancient cultures, but the majority of them are monogamous. I wouldn't say that the majority of Hebrew Israelite males are monogamous, though. That's the only one I can think of about like Babylonians, Assyrians, Nubians. They're ancient cultures that I don't think they exist. Well, they do exist in our community, right? They've been brought back in a sense. Like people are trying to be neo Nubians and neo Cometians. But as far as Hebrews, I know that's the majority of the men are polygynous in that community. The majority. Are there brothers who are monogamous? Like my dear brother Elder Yara's monogamous. My dear brother, what's another Hebrew that I know? Damn, I just thought about Elder Yara. I don't think anybody else that I know besides, hold on. There's a lot of Hebrew Israelite brothers who are monogamous. I just can't think of him right now. It's just that I thought of Elder Yara because he's monogamous, but he's not even in the community too. Get it? So he's in the community teaching, but he's not in the Hebrew Israelite community, meaning we're all doing it this way. I think we need to really flesh that out because now, especially that I brought his marriage up, which I'm not talking, I hate to be, marriage is very sensitive. Brother Law, Miss Nicole, Elder Yara, his beautiful wife Valaya. I'm bringing people up. So let me let you know, this is not an individual. This isn't a conversation about individual marriages. I don't know anything about people's marriages. And I definitely don't know about people, like who they are. I haven't sat down with Elder Yara and with a notepad and, he's there talking to me about his whole life. Look, tell me what this happened and his wife. And I'm not doing that with brother-in-law or Miss Nicole. So people, when you hear me talking in general about polygyny, I'm talking about what I've seen, what I've researched. I'm not talking about the wonders of love and people. I do want to drive that home. I'm not speaking about the wonders of love and people. And the best way for you to counter it, if I'm saying something that you absolutely don't agree with, I would love for you to join me in a conversation and say, well, this is not true because this is how I do this and this is how I do that. And then we get that all on the table. But I think we all are on the same page where we do know this, though, that Hebrew Israelite males in the community, like Captain Tazariak, Sakari, Maharaka, Bishop Nathan. Bishop Nathaniel Allah says he's monogamous. So IUIC, they practice monogamy. Wink, wink. But groups like, different Hebrew groups, Zabak, Priest Zabak, I said Sakari, it's known, okay, that's polygyny. That's a polygynous group. ISUPK, that's a polygynous group. So you get what I'm saying? Like with the Muslims, we know, Muslims practice polygyny. It's not a shock. If we want to go outside of the community, Mormons practice polygyny. So that's what I'm really getting at. You know what I'm saying? Can a Mormon practice monogamy? A Mormon male? Yes. Can he happily do it? Of course. Can a Muslim man, like our brother-in-law, practice monogamy? Yes. He said it. His woman has said it. I'm not watching his life forever, following him around like, we got you, brother-in-law. You don't practice polygyny. Of course, there are men who can do it. I've said that. And if it's an offensive thing to say it's a program, don't be offended because in society, we program ourselves to do everything. Is it possible? Yes. But I'm talking about the reality of men saying that they are doing a certain thing. They're in groups like this Hebrew Israelite brother at the beginning, he said, I will not talk to other women. I will not be with anyone else but you. But he's in Sakari. And I'm going to, at the end, if you guys came in later on, I'm going to play Captain's language and what he says. It's great. He hits home. He's like, why are you telling a woman this when just so you could have her in a relationship? It's just going to fall apart. So anyway, let's see. Let's see what brother-in-law said. But is it legal in the United States as a married man is my question. That's a good question. Again, these are all good questions. It's legal to be in different relationships. But you know what, though, to be honest, there's certain states, because there's so many old laws that haven't been revised, that adultery, especially in the military, I'm doing adultery, like extramarital relationships can be, they're punitive. There's punitive damage. Like you could be punished for that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like when homosexuals, before the law was passed that their marriages could be acknowledged and legalized. It's just like how there were laws against homosexuality. I'm not saying polygyny is like homosexuality in its nature. I'm saying legally, homosexuality was illegal in a lot of states. So the answer is no, sometimes it is illegal in the United States. We just have to, that's why the laws have to change for it. But we just need more knowledge about it. Let me see what here. It says, you were referring to the people today, so my question was irrelevant, so I apologize. My question was about the ancient cultures in their own. That's fine. You don't have to apologize. Let me go ahead and play. Oh, here's Caleb said, 16 states consider adultery to be a crime. These include the Carolinas, Georgia, Mississippi, New York, Utah, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Oklahoma, Massachusetts, Illinois, Kansas. Yes, so The answer is, brother law, if you have one legal, when you have a marriage on paper, and then in some states you go and you have marriages outside of that, but you're all okay with it, you're all practicing polygyny, then it could be considered something like, punitive, like there's punitive damage for it. But I think it's there's I don't know any court of law that would enforce, if you have a group of people practicing polygyny, there's who's going to bring it as a crime. And even if someone did, I find it very hard if you fought that for that to even stand in a court of law. It's even less of an offense than jaywalking. Like jaywalking is more serious. And I'm not just saying that out of the side of my neck. Utah has recently made, I forget what happened, polygyny to where it is not, it's just like a ticketed offense, like a misdemeanor. I think that's one of the, because you put them in the list. And it's not even getting enforced. But it's not enough. We need to make changes, and it's going to be so hard because now we're going into the financial side. You're building an empire when you get different contracts in the court with marriage. You get to have a lot of different advantages financially. You get breaks, you get this, you get that. So it's going to be even more difficult to get the law to acknowledge like multiple marriages on contract. It's even more difficult than when they got the homosexual marriages passed. You understand, like legalized. I mean, so there's a lot. Well, you say, okay, so it's against the law. It's well, you could say it's against the law if you like, and if we're talking about the United States government in some states, yeah, it's also against the law to do a lot that people in our community do, right, brother-in-law? We're not just talking about people who are mainstream. The title says conscious men who are in the consciousness community. A lot of things that people do are against the law. You understand? Even I dare I say, if we're going to talk about law, sitting up and talking about the white man this, and we need to do this, and we need to do, like the Hebrew Israelites say, we DEATH to Esau, that stuff is against the law as well. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you could say it's against the law if you'd like. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's against the law. Smoking marijuana is against federal law, right? But everybody in this community, it has no problem with it. So yeah, that's not my issue. There's laws that need to be changed. Definitely. There are laws that need to be changed concerning polygyny. And I'm glad you brought that up. There are laws that we need to change concerning polygyny. Because why should a man and his wives be penalized, not what Sonetta was saying the other day, okay? Like penalty, penal with an A, not with an I, penalized. Shout out to Sonetta. Why should a man be penalized for his decision on how to have his household, right? So enough about that. Let me see what Caleb says. Yeah, it's been against the law. Doesn't make it morally wrong, exactly, or anything like that. It being against the law doesn't make it morally wrong or anything like that. It was illegal to do a lot of things that it shouldn't have been illegal to do. Yes. And dare I say, and I'm sure our brother-in-law agrees with me 200%, if 200% is even said anything. I'm sure you agree that some laws that have been passed for certain unions that are now considered legal, and they are not against the law when they once were, and they were even classified as mental illness, you all know what I'm talking about, those are now legal, those particular unions. So this isn't my personal opinion. I just stated some of the things that were considered mental illness and said to be morally wrong and said to be that they should be illegal. Those laws have been reversed. And now we have people who can go into the courthouse and they can get married under the United States law. So it's a good conversation. Don't get me wrong. I actually appreciate Brother Law asking that question. We do need to talk about it. We need to talk about all of this. But I want to go back and let you hear. I'm going to close out with our brother Tazariak. I want you to listen to what he has to say about men in the consciousness community who say, I know men are polygynous, but I just want to be with one woman forever. How much of that is realistic when you're a Hebrew Israelite in a group of men, Sakari, who push and promote and advocate for polygyny? How much of that is true, and how much of that is fair? Not to just how much of that is fair to not just to the woman because you're lying to her, but how much of that is fair to the man? You got to be true to yourself. And I'm going to let Captain Tazariak say it. Don't just do that just so you can get a woman. And women, don't be with just be with a man and you don't like polygyny, but you just want to be with him so bad and you think, well, I can make him change. Don't do that. Right? We know that, correct? Let me go back and let you hear this and then I'll close out.
When he makes it
to it, let's put this back on the screen. Boom. All right, so I'm gonna keep playing it. So we showed the Robbie thing. So I showed the text message where he got the Robbie girl defending him, but he was calling her a demon. These are all the things that she wanted cleared up for herself. So I'm gonna keep playing.
him from August through November. I'm going to prove via text that that's a lie. I have text messages where him and I are communicating through that whole duration of time. When he makes it seem like I'm jealous and about him talking to other women, the reason why I was pressing him so hard about other women is because he made a covenant to Yahweh and to me that he would not do those things because I was not okay with polygyny.
So
there's
now,
some women that are, there's some that.
So he made a covenant before him and Yahweh that he would not court other women. This is how he turned, like he damn near turned her into a monster. And so when we look at this text, it says, I, Ariella, make this covenant with Zion Noah that I will not take another wife or court another woman while we are married. I make this covenant before the Most High God, Yahweh, and all of his angels, including flirting and having long conversations on the phone. He put the demon, like he just
I like when he talked about this when hold on.
said, Asmodeus, come down.
He's stupid. He's not stupid, but that's so hilarious when he says that. That makes me laugh. But I want to say this too to the ladies, especially when the sister asked me, how does this benefit the woman? How do I say this? If you are talking to a man and you even think that he's going to do polygyny, I mean, and you really just don't want it, don't waste your time. This is from a loving place. If a man comes to you and says, listen, I know that people are all about this polygyny thing and I don't have a problem with it, but for me, I don't want to be with other women. I'm not saying that man is a liar or he's just trying to trick you. He's coming from he's coming from a genuine place, and he probably will never, ever, 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 ever be with anyone else. My thing is this. If you are a man and you're in the consciousness community, you're a consciousness mindset, you're in an Afrocentric mindset, you're a Hebrew Israelite, you're a Muslim, you know that polygyny isn't wrong. You don't see it to be morally wrong. You know that polygyny is beneficial. I'm saying if that's the type of man you are, Don't just leave her alone, and she should just leave you alone. I think I was already saying that because listening to this is like so just horrible to hear. Just the simple mindedness. It makes me sad for her, and I don't feel sad for Ariella because I don't like his character. But if he was just a regular brother that I didn't know any background about him, about what he's done, I feel like, dang, this brother is really, really, really young and ignorant, telling this woman that. You know what I mean? It's like, just leave each other alone. Meet a guy who says, I don't do polygyny. I just don't want it. And see how that goes. But I'm going to stand my ground and say this. Women are hypergamous, and bosses, they do polygyny. That's just fact. I'm not saying if you're not doing polygyny, you're not a man, but bosses do polygyny. If you're a boss that happens to be monogamous, fine. But a boss, the king, is going to have more than one woman because women won't stay out of his face. They won't. They won't stay out of his face. And men like women. And men who are in charge get what they want eventually. The problem is men aren't doing polygyny correctly when they know they're bosses, and some men, not all, and they're just sleeping with a bunch of women and disrespecting them. Be the boss that respects the women that you sleep with, keep the women happy, and amass as many women as your heart's desires and as many women as your wife's heart's desire. It can't just be you. I brought another one home, baby. No, this isn't about finding strays. You have to have your life set. See, there's so much that I'm going into and I'm closing out, but you have to be able to say, look, how many wives are going to be here? Well, I'm looking at about 3. I don't know. 3 is good. Okay, let's see how 3 works out. 3 is going really well. And you think you want to do 4? I can see you like so-and-so. Okay. I was going to talk to you guys about that. It's a group thing at that point. He can't just be out doing all kinds of stuff and we're home and then he comes home with the baby, look who I brought. I'm just laughing at that. That makes me laugh. Because you might say, oh, well, the king can do what he wants. Yeah, but it's going to disrupt. A wise man would do things correctly. Now, you don't have to hold me to the number, but a wise man would do things correctly. He would do things that would not disrupt his finances, not disrupt the happiness in his home. He's already got more than one wife, a wise man. But if you're just a man sitting somewhere and you're in one of these groups that says you should be able to have more than one wife, and you're telling women, oh, I'm just going to be with you, baby. It's not going to work. I kind of went on a tangent, but yeah, let me go ahead and let me see what Caleb said. Come on, Nepal, laugh out loud. My wife looking at me sideways now, asking me if I want polygyny. I said no, but you getting me in trouble. Okay, no. See, that's why I said I don't know to your queen, which I love you guys. You're great. I don't know your personal life. I'm speaking my commentary and what I've seen and what I know. Now, we can continue to look. There are women out there. I have 2 sisters who are married. Their husbands are monogamous. There are women out there doing monogamy, and there are men out there doing monogamy. I'm talking about the nature. There are women, I say women are naturally hypergamous. Men are naturally polygynous. They're polygynists, meaning that's the noun, that's what they are. And their adjective, they are polygynous. Women are hypergamous, describing women. Just because women are hypergamous, one sister said, well, why is that women are always choosing Pookies and Ray Rays if they're hypergamous? Hypergamy cannot just be defined by finance. Women look for the boss. They want to be with the boss. They want to be with the guy who can protect them. That's the boss. The guy who has stability. That's not, I don't like saying Pookie and Ray Ray, but that's not the issue. It's too much of a conversation. I got to try to close out, but we'll talk more. I'm glad this is only an hour. I want to finish up letting you listen. Let me see what this man said. And kingdom fall because of whoredom. King Solomon. Well, King Solomon, he wasn't a whoremonger. His wives were queens, number one. Okay. There were no whores involved in his household. Okay. There was not one bit of whoredom. That sounds to me like a little bit of misogyny right there. You talk about you're so African, but I always got, and you usually talk to Sonetter, but let me say this to you, Moses. The next time you talk to Sonetter, mention this. If you're so African, how are you anti-polygyny? If you're so African, why are there hints like little tinges and little tiny overshadowing of like male chauvinism with a sprinkle of polygyny? I mean polygyny, a sprinkle of misogyny. I got my Janese mixed up. You saying because of whoredom, King Solomon never was a whoremonger. Those were his wives. There weren't any whores at all. Not one whore. When he decided to honor their gods, he's the one who went to those other cultures and decided to get political alliances through marriage. And when he had those political alliances, he had to honor their gods, right? Oh, so you're talking about that kind of whoredom, right? Because I'm talking about actual marriage. If you're talking about spiritual whoredom, okay, I can rock with you and entertain that. But we're talking about marriage. None of his wives were whores. Not one. Not one of his wives were whores. They were all royal. They were all queens and from very royal families. And they are all legion too. Mental illness is running rampant in America because of whoredoms. See, this is the thing. Like, what are you talking about? Who's a whore? Why is it? I really am glad you're making these comments, my friend. Where is whoredom involved when people want to have multiple lives? That is a Christian mindset that you're putting out there. Dare I say a white Christian mindset? You sound like a Protestant, like a Puritan. Whoredom doesn't equal polygyny. That's something a buttoned up, tightly wound up Puritan Calvinist would say. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to close up. Let me see what Miss Nicole says. Is the man supposed to live with all his wives in this lifestyle? Some men do. That's actually a personal choice. I would not recommend a bunch of women living in the same house unless the house is huge and there's different quarters for the women, like this is my section of the house. This is your section of the house. I have my own living quarters. I have my own kitchen. I have my own. So, or like a compound. Living in the house with a bunch of adults is already out of control. But living in the house with a bunch of women, like in close quarters, I don't recommend that. You notice I'm talking about so I thank you for this. These are great questions. These are great comments. I personally would not recommend that. If he wants to live in close proximity to different homes, if he wants to live in a compound, if he wants to live in a if he's blessed to have the financial ability to build compounds or build like living quarters, then that's awesome. Where the women have their own space and their own boundaries, like this is where I live, this is where you live, that's great. But living all in the same, like a regular single family home, or no, that doesn't work. For a lot of reasons. I mean, I just said the reasons. One reason is I don't want to be like right next to the room where you and her in the bed. I don't want to know that. Like, I know it, but I don't want to be like hearing it. But that's me. So we have to talk more about that. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend it, but it does work out for a lot of people, just not for me. Anyway, let me finish playing this. Hopefully we can have more conversation about this. I'm going to finish playing what. Thank you, Captain Tazariak. Thank you to everybody tuning in. Thank you, Miss Nicole and Latoya Maat, all the women who were in here and tuned in, and the men as well, because this is a conversation we need to have. And I appreciate Captain Tazar. I appreciate what he said. That's why I had to go live on this.
Zion Noir, that I will not take another wife or court another woman while we are married. I make this covenant before the Most High God, Yahweh, and all of his angels, including flirting and having long conversations on the phone. He put the demon, like he just said, Asmodeus, come down. He wanted Asmodeus and Legion. He just put Asmodeus and Legion right in the house by making that statement. And let me tell you something, fellas, stop lying to these women for box. Stop lying to these women for box. Listen, if a woman don't want to accept the polygamous lifestyle, there's about 10,000 others that will. You just got to search them. You just got to search them.
Oh, and I got to say this, and then I got to go. Okay. Also, to the women, let me tell you about polygyny. Yes, I love polygyny. I think it's great. I really do. However, people have to do it correctly, and people have to respect other people's boundaries and other people's choices and people's desires. I do want to say this too. I want to close out with this. When he was talking about the flirting and on the phone, this is love to the women. If you don't want to do polygyny, if you want to do monogamy only, and so if you are only into monogamy and you're not at all into, I'm talking like about what the sister, when we heard the sister, her recording, the woman. If you don't want to do polygyny, please, why are you on the phone flirting and entertaining? Are you that? I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Why are you flirting and entertaining men who are polygynous or polygynists? Why are you doing that? I'm talking with love to you, sisters. Is it because you're considering polygyny? Okay, so you're not, so you're okay with polygyny. But if you're just like, I do not like polygyny, it's not for me. Why would you disrespect yourself and sit and talk to a man who you know is a polygynist? I'm going to take it a step further. Why would you sit on the phone with a man and you know he has a relationship with a woman or other women? You know he's married. You don't want to be in a polygynous relationship. You don't want to be with, you only want to be with that man. You only want to be monogamous, but you have no problem sitting on the phone with him and talking to him. So in your mind, not in his mind and not in his wife's mind, this is very important. I want you all to hear this because there's some women out there. I'm going to be very, very honest. There are women out there who don't get it. I am in a polygynist relationship, right? I'm married to a polygynist. I know he's a polygynist. I'm okay with polygyny. It doesn't matter if there's a limit or not a limit. I'm okay with it. What I'm not okay with is people disrespecting my marriage and me and my husband. How do you disrespect yours and disrespecting themselves? If you know you don't want to be in polygyny, and you know you never want to be a part of our marriage, why are you playing in his face and causing problems in our life? Meaning, I'm going back to the phone call now. If you don't like polygyny, why are you on the phone with the polygynist? I'm giving you love. See, some women are mental. You talked about mental illness, Moses. Some women are so insecure. They can be the most beautiful women. They will sit and try to be with a man who has a wife already or has multiple wives, but they don't want to do polygyny. Oh my God, I gotta leave it at that. I gotta leave you with that. It's crazy. You don't understand it. See, people think, oh, I'm telling you about myself. I'm not jealous. I don't have time for people trying to be, they want to be side pieces. You deserve better. And I damn sure don't deserve the headache. I don't deserve anybody making my life more complicated. My husband doesn't need anybody making my life more complicated. And the woman doesn't need her. And I'm using myself, but I'm talking about for all women, right? If you know a man is a polygynist, only talk to him if you are good with polygyny, not if he has to sell you on it like it's a brand new car or a subscription to Time magazine for 4 years. If you don't like polygyny, don't talk to men who do polygyny. Just like Captain said to the brothers, there's 10,000 other women. There's a bunch of men out there who really say, I'm good, I can do monogamy. Pick me, I want to be with you. And they're good guys. So that's my point. Don't go messing with men who don't want to be monogamous. Leave them alone, baby girl. And some people don't like being called baby girl. So leave them alone, queen. Let me see what Trinity says. Trinity says, because they want to steal him from the lifestyle and his other women like a prize because they are sick and jealous individuals. That's why, Trinity, let me tell you something. This woman right here is, whatever you say about Trinity, she's always razor sharp, on point, and blunt as hell. So exactly. And we got to talk to, you know what? We would close the book on that, because in the old days, meaning not too long ago, I'm talking about 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 years ago, we say, okay, we ostracize that sister. No, I want to start healing these women. I want to tell them, stop, be your better self. We as women need to stop hating each other. And yes, sick and jealous, hell yeah. Some of them can't be fixed, but most of them can. I'm saying, don't try. It's true. Like, what is with women? This is going off kind of like to other just women in particular. Why are you trying to be in the face of a man and you know he already has a wife? What is it about you? Because let me tell you, these women think that they're getting one up over on the woman, when what you're really doing is making your life more complicated, and you're not getting what you deserve as a queen. If you are not getting a man saying, you're my wife, and I'm going to let the whole world know you're my wife, and you're going to be my wife. If he's not doing that, if you got to be, oh, I'll call you later, and you and me, I'll meet up on you in the corner. You deserve better. Okay? And he deserves better too. We all deserve our highest selves. He deserves a woman that he could bring home to his marriage, his other wives, and say, she's going to be a part of our marriage. Or he deserves to be able to say, look, you know what? I'm going to move on. And she doesn't have to hang it over his head, keep on calling him, just checking on you. I hate that. Oh, Lord, I can't stand that. Please stop checking on other women's husbands, my loves. Okay, with that said, I love you all. It's all love. Wait, let's see what Brother Law is. I know he's monogamous and he is not for this polygyny stuff. So he said, on that note, peace and blessings. Okay, yes, no. We're all good here. We're all talking. We've all shared our personal lives. That's why I know Brother Law and Miss Nicole are monogamous. That's why y'all know Captain Tazariak is polygynous. We know what's going on over here. But for the sisters, please don't try to change a man. Don't try to make a man monogamous if you know he's in this consciousness community. You know he's a polygynist. You know he's a Hebrew Israelite. And for the brothers, just like Captain Tazariak said, stop lying to these women and stop lying to yourselves. With that said, peace and blessings. I will talk to you again soon. We're gonna go over the the Dr. Umar information. Peace. Later, the next stream. Thank you for joining.